see if we can prolong survival, also improve quality of life by decreasing the side effects and also by giving good supportive care. So we follow some rules in oncology, and the first rule of oncology this person is Dr. Nick Thatcher, with whom I worked for some time on a lung cancer project, and he said, next, tumor should shrink faster than the patient. That is of utmost importance. Next slide. So I'll take 2 or 3 diseases to touch upon what progress we have made and why these recurrences happen. First is breast cancer. The first question that most people have been asking is, should we treat breast cancer? Next. So this is a slide taken from the data from MD Anderson, which is one of the leading across the timeline from 1974 to 2000. The survival has definitely improved, as you can see. These are called survival curves. And as you can see here, the top one is the yellow line, that is from 1995 to 2000. And as you can see here, the metastatic breast cancer, that is stage 4 breast cancer, where the survival in 1974 to 79 was less than 10%, has almost reached 60% today. And the slide of 2000, and in 2025 it's even better. So this is just to tell you, yes, treatment works. So this is again to show you some evidence. This is breast cancer incidence. And if you see, the incidence is highest in Sweden. Next slide. But if you look at mortality, it's the highest in United Kingdom. Next. So treatment works, that we understand now. Next slide. And again, if you see, the UK, the incidence is in between, but the highest mortality is in UK. Next. That again tells us that societies that take breast cancer seriously get better results. So this is again to show you that we have staging of breast cancer. This is early stage, stage 0, 1 and 2. Next. And stage 3 and 4 are advanced cancers. Next slide. Why is this important? Again, because the survival is dependent on the stage at the time of diagnosis. And as you can see here, stage 1, the 5-year survival can be as much as 84%, whereas in stage 4, it is in just 10 to 11%. Next slide. So when we talk about treatment modalities, radiotherapy and surgery are essentially local treatment. So in surgery, you take out the breast lump or the whole breast, and to decrease the local recurrence, you give radiation. And in the systemic therapy, we have chemotherapy and hormonal therapy, and this we talk as adjuvant therapy in the early breast cancer. And the selection of treatment is based on the staging and the menopausal status of the lady and the hormone receptor status. So we talk about adjuvant systemic therapy, by which I mean that the stage is early. We have done surgery. There is no evidence of disease as of now by any imaging modality that we have today. But we know if left alone, these patients will come back with the disease, and for them we give what is called adjuvant. Next slide. So when we say a patient needs to take treatment, they'll come and say, how long can I wait before I start treatment? Can I wait for 1 year, 2 years? I have so many things to do. Let me finish all that. But then this is data to show that commencing treatment early saves lives. And this is data from almost 87 studies, well over 10,000 patients. And this has shown that if the delay is 3 to 6 months, the 5-year survival decreases by 7%. And if it is more than 6 months, decreases by 12%. And when we give adjuvant chemotherapy, it is a big thing that even these small differences do not happen. Next slide. For some large disease like this, we give chemotherapy upfront, and you can see the response here. So if somebody sees this in the community, a neighbor sees or a general physician sees, they shouldn't go with the impression that nothing can be done for these patients. There is evidence to show that chemotherapy given for these patients can shrink the tumors to such great extents and really cure them. Next slide. And the same thing is shown on the CT scan. Next. So one of the questions that has been posed is, the cancer was early and surgery has already removed it. Why is the doctor suggesting chemotherapy and radiotherapy? Especially in today's time, everything is looked at as business. So patients think that the doctor is after me to make money, or the corporate hospitals wanted me to spend money because they want to make business out of me. But then that is wrong. So next slide. We today know that cancer can come back, and many of these factors that we look at is the tumor size, which we call the T size. And this is a slide to show that as the size of the tumor increases, the chances of recurrence are high. And on the right side, it shows the grading of the tumor. The higher the grading, the higher the chances of recurrence of this tumor. And based on all this, we advise adjuvant chemotherapy for a patient so that the chances of recurrence are decreased. Next slide. This again is a slide to show that there are various factors which reduce recurrence, and some of them are, I mentioned, tumor size and the lymph node involvement. Also the ERPR, these are called hormone receptor status, estrogen and progesterone receptor status, and all these have a bearing on the recurrences. And if you see here, the first highest incidence of recurrence is in the first 1.5 to 2 years. After that it comes down, but even up to 10 years in a specific subset of patients, the recurrence can happen. All this I'm showing because it's important for us to remember that recurrences can happen and how we can try and prevent these recurrences. Next slide. So evolution of breast cancer management. Hippocrates way back in 400 BC had said that breast cancer is a systemic disease. Next. But then people thought that it was a local disease sometime in 1700s, and they looked at lymphatic dissection. This was by Hunter in 1772, and he said that by removing the disease and the lymph nodes you were curing them. Next. But we soon found that it was not so. So Halsted is a person who advocated radical mastectomy, doing more, and he thought by removing a lot more of the organs and the structures around the breast, we were going to decrease the recurrences. But then we came back, we understood that even after you do so much, recurrences will happen, and therefore we were giving what we call today as adjuvant therapies. Next. So we come back a whole circle. Today we know that breast cancer is a systemic disease, and that underscores the reason why doctors advise patients to take adjuvant therapy. Next slide. So this was a statement made in 2000 by the National Institute of Health, which said that any tumor more than 1 centimeter should get chemotherapy. But then people soon realized that this bar was too low and many patients were getting unnecessary chemotherapy. Next. So we soon understood that there were so many other factors that could decide whether we should give chemotherapy, some of them, or we can avoid. And some of them are shown here, how we've improved in our understanding of the biology of the disease, and why we should not treat everybody, because it can produce all the toxicities that are given on the right side, including financial toxicity. Next. So how do we go about it? We have some molecular profiling of the breast cancers today, and one of the first one that came in was called the Oncotype DX, which looks at genetic analysis and tells if some patients are really low risk, who can be avoided with this adjuvant therapy, or high risk, who should get. Next. Soon we had 6 different prognostic signatures, and there's a paper to compare all these and tell us which is the best. Next. So as I said, tremendous advances, great progress, benefiting many patients. Many of them are cured, but recurrences happen. Next. Can you play this? I just want you to watch this video for a minute and have your own thoughts on this video. There is some sound if you can put it. I want to think of the tiger as an oncologist and the monkey as recurrences. So I just put it up because tiger is supposed to be the very powerful creature that we have. And as oncologists, doctors, we think we are great, we've done a great job, but recurrences happen, and that's a monkey. So I just wanted to show that. So recurrences, we have local, regional and distant. It is important for us to remember. And this is a beautiful talk from Dr. Angelina from the University of Pennsylvania. I've just taken this to say that dormant cells as potential targets in developing therapies to prevent breast cancer. So we today know that with all the available imaging modalities, we are not able to pick up very small amount of disease that produces recurrences. Next slide. You must be wondering why I'm putting Harry Potter's picture here. So what happens is many cells here, next, become dormant like this cloak, and they stay inactive, which cannot be picked up by all the therapies that we do today, cannot be killed or picked up by the imaging modalities. So we believe that some of these cancer cells